by Christian von Kessel, the ScaleWings CEO and co-founder. Christian, welcome. So excited to have you here with us.
Rob, we are even more excited. Thank you so much for having us again.
And we know that your aircraft, and we've had you here at Oshkosh before, we're so excited to have you back. We're going to talk about what it is, but there it is departing in front of us. What a beautiful sight there in front of us.
Yeah, thank you. So here we have our pilot today is Chad Bernier from California. He's the owner of this plane. He flew it in the day before yesterday with his girlfriend, and he's a great pilot. Also owns a Super Decathlon and a Cirrus, and he's also quite successful in his YouTube channel. His claim to fame is
back in 2022, and I got a chance to look at your aircraft up close later that year, and it absolutely is spectacular. Folks, if you haven't seen it up close, you need to check out the ScaleWings airplane. I am from the left. Christian, here he comes.
Yeah, let's listen to the sound signature. So the wind is pushing the sound away from us just a little bit, but some of us, we may have heard that there's a certain whizzing sound to it, which is quite similar to the P-51. Obviously it doesn't have the base of the Merlin, but because the proportions and geometries of the airfoil, and especially the belly scoop, are so accurate, it actually has the same sound signature like a P-51 at 72% of the scale. This jet-like whistle that we just heard comes from that.
That is amazing. The attention to detail is absolutely phenomenal, Christian. Now, we've seen the aircraft go by, had a tailwind behind it, but what kind of performance will we see here today as the aircraft is doing this demonstration?
Yeah, so the aircraft can go 200, 220, 230 knots is VNE calculated for up to 330 knots VNE. Today, I think he'll be doing these low passes, perhaps at around 200 downwind, and now he's coming upwind here again. Stall speed is 48 with flaps down, so it's quite a bit. It's a broad range of speeds.
Yeah, that's a great range. It's a very safe range of speed as well to make it a viable airplane. And also, there are a number of folks, I would dare to say, virtually everybody in the audience today is probably like me, wanting to know how do I get my hands on one, and what's a typical SW51 owner, and what experience do they need to fly one?
So the typical owner is a dreamer, like all of us who created this in the P-51, and many have had childhood dreams to own the P-51. But they don't want to spend necessarily the 3 to 5 million for a real one. And I just paused there to hear the sound again. The real Mustangs in a good restored condition can be priced at 3 to 5 million, and that's only where it begins, because keeping them airworthy is just a lot of money that's required, and spare parts become more rare. And this idea is kind of a natural Mustang, a fraction of the cost. So our typical owners, some have other things that they like to use.
Every, like 30 frames per second, like
fun one. But others also have this as their only thing, because it's also a very good cross-country machine with IFR capability. It's got an autopilot and extended fuel range is 4 hours plus, so it can do many missions.
Well, Christian, he's circling back in from the right. Chad is bringing the airplane back through. Let's watch and listen to him come by, but I do have another question for you. As we look at the amazing paint scheme, you talked about the incredible scale replica of the aircraft itself. You talked about the special paint to make it look like polished aluminum, but I want everybody to look as he comes by from your right to your left. Look at the markings on Chad's airplane here as he comes by, and then we'll talk about that here in just a second.
Yeah, so Chad is showing now a low-speed pass with the landing gear down. It's an all-electric landing gear, front and rear, and again showing the slow-speed characteristics. The paint scheme that he chose, so that's something that we enjoy so much, together with the owners, to develop and craft a paint scheme that is absolutely unique. And we listen to the stories of the owners and continue the tradition of real P-51s, where the pilots would give them names and develop a nose art. This one is very close to the one that actually Tom Cruise owns, and it has flown in Top Gun Maverick. And the name of this bird is Double Trouble, which is inspired by Chad's two young daughters.
That's absolutely awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, not only can you own one, but you can fly one and you can personalize it completely the way you want to. Now, how are these aircraft, and will they fit into the mosaic?
Yeah, absolutely. So they are experimental airplanes or experimental exhibitions, and we have started the process of mosaic. And it would fit perfectly with all the requirements of stall speed, retractable land here very pitched. So we're working towards mosaic, experimental, but we will keep all avenues open, and that's how it's certificated. Completed in Europe, in our factory, where we have 82 people working in it, and then we AeroWings and ship them to the United States.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that. How did the aircraft get here? If I were to buy one later this afternoon, how would it be opened to the factory?
So we have partner companies and delivery centers in the United States where we ship the container. We're unloading and reassembly is done within 1 day because it's made for quick reassembly. And then we have all the resources and infrastructure set up here to go through the certification process, as well as the flight test campaign, the phase 1 task base. And then we ferry it to the owners and give them the training that's required, which we put a lot of care about making sure everyone is really prepared. It's an easy flying aircraft, but it's a tail dragger, so we want to make absolutely sure everyone flies it with the best confidence and reliability.
Well, that's awesome. Sounds like a wonderful support network. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you look high and to the right, you'll see Chad lining up the SW51 for his final approach and landing here on runway 36. So, Christian, as he brings the aircraft back here to terra firma, tell us what it means for you guys to be here at Oshkosh again. We're so excited to have you, but I know it means a lot to you as well.
Well, I was just saying to the team again, this is just incredible. You know, it's the biggest show in aviation in the world, and being here as a visitor is awesome. You know, being an exhibitor is great, but being able to stand up here and have our aircraft fly in the main air show and see you all and enjoy this, it means the world to us. And we are so appreciative of EAA of making it possible. We've worked really, really hard to get to this point, and it's just an incredible appreciation that we honor so much.
Well, Christian, as we see this beautiful aircraft rolling out on runway 36 to our right, and the wind just begins to slow down, the tail settles. I mean, obviously it's 72% scale all the way through.